Thank you all. My name is Daniel Cairns. I'm the Head of Enrolments here at Fourth Rev, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this event in collaboration with LSE Online, from spreadsheets to AI, how to stay relevant in data through 2026. Just a little bit of housekeeping first. Welcome all of you that have just joined. We're just introducing ourselves in the chat function. This is going to be a very informative session, but the session is also about yourself. So do engage as you are in the chat. But if you have any particular questions for the panel or myself, please pop them in the Q&A. We do have time reserved, and I'll go through the rundown in a moment. We do have time for a Q&A, but I'll be monitoring questions in the Q&A, not the chat. The chat will be used for things like this, for introductions and for some engagement, and also for some assets to place in there as well. We're expecting a very, very large audience, and there's already almost 100 people here. So thank you all, and good on you for giving up your time, or committing your time, I should say, to educate yourself further about the opportunities, about the insights from our panel, and also about the program with a special offer to follow. So with time of the essence, I'm going to jump to today's agenda. We're going to look at the future of data careers, changes or AI automations, and we'll spend a quarter of the time on that with a lens toward the future. Obviously looking there for those that are looking to potentially commence or change careers, or even advance their existing careers with new skills. We'll go through the spreadsheets to advanced analytics, the skills journey, looking at the foundational skills, the technical and soft skills that employers value so much, and AI trends. I'll then give an overview of the program, and we're hoping that our final guest will join to give us an overview of his experience, and then finish with that Q&A as well. In the chat though, another piece of engagement, as you've all been so diligent in letting us know where you're from, let us know in the chat, where are you on your data journey today? Are you looking to data analytics and measurement, in strategic campaign planning, AI marketing automation, audience targeting and segmentation? Or are you looking to commence your journey in data, looking to change your careers? Let us know in the chat as well where you are on your data journey thus far. Just a reminder for those that just joined, we'll get to the panel in a moment, but the questions I'll only answer will be in the Q&A function. There's so many people here, it's going to be a brilliant opportunity to engage, but also I need to keep it within the Q&A function there. The chat will be used for the things that we're going to be going over shortly and providing now as well. But without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our expert panel today. Please join me in welcoming Leo and Chris. And Kareem is caught up at the moment. But welcome, Chris. Welcome, Leo.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure, gentlemen. I might ask Leo first, as he was fastest on the button to come on camera. I might ask you to give yourself, or give the audience just a quick introduction and background from yourself, Leo.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, like I said, great to be here. So from my side, I'm working in digital transformation, helping organizations translate their strategies into the digital time that we're in, complement it with what's available, but also get involved in the implementation. Yeah, today's topic is really very pertinent for where we're at. You're seeing a lot of Excel shadow systems out there in the way we work currently. And that's also something I deal quite a lot with. How do we get those shadow Excel sheets, if I can call it like that, out of the workflows and the digital transformation, get that mindset change. So excited to engage a bit around that topic.
Exactly what employers are seeking. Thank you, Leo. It's a pleasure to have you. Chris, welcome.
Hi, so I'm Chris. I worked for digital analytics agencies for over half a decade, scaling them with seed funding. And I've shifted over from in-house to external, where I'm now working for Experis. It's led me here to place, and I've gone from the digital analytics scene into data and AI. So that's a little bit about my background.
Brilliant, much appreciated, Chris, and we're very gifted or very lucky to have you both here, and thank you for your time. I'll certainly thank you at the end of proceedings. With time of the essence, I will get into looking over and looking forward, as I said at the introduction, as to what data careers may look like on the horizon. As graduates and panelists can attest to, the demand for specialised data skills is skyrocketing. Across the board, people in all careers and industries are realising they need to become data literate or enhance their existing or dated data skills as well. When we look at the way AI is impacting the data career, we see more than 40% of data-related tasks are predicted to be automated, shifting the role of professionals from repetitive analysis to strategic problem solving and impact of that data from a business perspective. More and more, we are facing the fact that data skills have now may not be the same skills we need in the future. If we look forward into the next 12 months to 5 years, 90% of business leaders cite data literacy as the key to company success, but only 25% of workers feel confident in their data skills. 42% of business tasks, which is massive, will be fully automated by 2027. Data entry's gone for some time. We know that it's been the fastest declining role for a while, whereas data with AI and machine learning, especially specialists, list the top fastest growing roles. Employers estimate that 44% of workers' skills will be disrupted in the next 5 years. For Chris and Leo, if you were to look in the future, what do you think data careers will look like in 1, 2, or even 5 years' time if we can, in this fast-paced world of change, think that far ahead now? I'll go with Chris first.
Okay, so as you alluded to, it's changing rapidly, those data entry roles, and a lot of roles. In fact, place where I previously worked, I've seen manual jobs automated. So it's those sorts of roles will probably go, and you'll see a shift towards maybe amalgamation of roles. So for example, you might have analytics engineer roles change to like AI product analyst, those sorts of things. A lot more prompt engineering, those sorts of things. But yeah, I mean, there'll be a shift in the high value skills will become, more, there'll be a greater understanding in understanding business problems and translating them into data questions, I think, within up to the next 5 years. But it's very difficult to predict how the future's kind of unraveling for data and the AI space because it's moving so fast.
Yeah, very, very good point. And someone much wiser than me, it was actually an Australian former Prime Minister, said this to me a few years ago, that the pace of change has never been this fast and it will never be this slow again. And that puts it in perspective for exactly what rang true since then, but is going to continue. Leo, when you cast an eye toward the future, what is it that you feel we will be looking at in terms of data roles?
Well, firstly, I had a drop connection for a bit, so if I repeat anything, Chris, apologies. But yeah, I see the next 5 years, which is, as Chris mentioned, a bit more clear, but roles really becoming more strategic. AI will automate a lot of that cleaning, basic reporting, and even that routine predictive work. Now we've already seen how we've changed from just reporting in the past to becoming slightly more predictive, and seeing that transition of wanting to become more prescriptive. But effectively with AI doing a lot of that groundwork, those basic analytics, AI will free the analysts up to actually spend more time in preparing data, more time for framing the questions, interpreting the outcomes. I think a bit longer term, we start looking 10 years, the waters become a bit more murky in terms of looking into the crystal ball, but I foresee roles blending, so the analyst would start looking more like a hybrid business translator, and they'll manage AI tools, understand the governance, drive decisions, and then taking a real wild stab at it, in 20 years time, we'll see data work really just spread across every function. And data literacy will potentially become a baseline skill, where higher end career focuses will, complex problems, model insight, ethics. So there'll be fewer data jobs potentially, but it'll become like, email and Excel once was, what it is
Yes.
now in the future.
Yes, I'm old enough to remember the introduction of Microsoft Office suite of products, including Excel, that people said would kill accountants. And I see similarities around that now, but you both articulate that really well, and aligning it with the program that I'll do a bit more in depth later. When we design any of our career accelerators, we always engage in true collaboration between the university and LSE and industry. And what you've said there rang true as well, because industry told us they do have frustrations with hiring highly technical people without the business application of the technical. And this obviously bridges the gap between the two. We'll touch on that a little bit more later. AI's role in the future of data careers. So AI already is and is set to enhance a lot of these data tasks, obviously data cleaning, basic analysis and reporting, and predictive modeling, and classification and synthesis. It's very clear AI is a key part of our data analytics future. This tech is not just automating repetitive tasks, it's transforming how data professionals operate. Next year, AI is expected to handle routine lower level processing, data cleaning, as it already is, data analytics, and even predictive modeling, freeing up time for more strategic value-driven tasks, exactly as our panel just mentioned then. However, with this shift, new skills are required, including understanding of AI systems and how to leverage them, obviously. I'll go to the next slide if we can. So new data responsibilities. In the next 5 years, as AI and automation become core to data workflows, the responsibilities of data analysts will evolve significantly. Rather than simply producing reports, analysts will increasingly focus on higher level and more impactful work, which is a really good thing. On this slide, you'll see 3 major shifts. Speak to an advisor. Analysts will no longer just hand over models for deployment. They'll collaborate with data scientists or AI teams to ensure algorithms are turned into business context, align with performance goals and ethical standards. And we'll touch on that certainly a little bit more as well. Advanced data storytelling and visualization. This is very impactful in business, to be able to tell non-technical people the technical aspects of a business challenge, but with basic visualization and reporting increasingly automated through AI augmented analytics tools. Analysts will spend more time on crafting compelling narratives, translating complex model outputs into business insights and presenting them, as I said, to non-technical stakeholders as well. And lastly, ethical and AI data governance. As more decision-making and model outcomes depend on AI, analysts will be central to governing how data is collected, how models are used, and how bias is managed and how ethical frameworks are applied. One recent industry report finds that skill change is happening 66% faster in roles exposed to AI, and that was a PwC report from last year. Chris, in this era of AI, what data skills do you feel are most important to upskill on right now?
So right now, I think AI literacy and prompt engineering. I'm seeing a lot of RAG and agentic AI coming up a lot. Work with the LLMs. So those would be the key points that I'd say to kind of learn up on. But with regards to key points, I always say that the best thing is to look at what the those companies hiring for, go through job boards, pull apart those sorts of pieces, and the reoccurring themes would be the trends that you're regularly hitting, because the market changes so fast at this current moment that I'd see keep on top of those and look into those points regularly, and then you'll find out where you need to be spending your time.
Excellent insights that I'm sure the audience appreciates a great deal. Is there anything you wanted to add to that as well, Leo, or shall I continue on? Sorry, Leo, you're on mute.
Apologies. Yeah, so in terms of the shift, I think a big part of it is that repetitive tasks, the traditional low-level tasks, those things are going to start disappearing. And traditionally, that used to be the bulk of the work, right? You go into a data project, and 70% is just like in sorting out the data, getting it clean, and so forth. But as you also say there, in terms of those skills, if we really look at where we need to go, how things are shifting, the brunt of the grunt work, let's say, of analysts, is gonna disappear. And the people that the bulk of their work there, they're probably going to start feeling the squeeze more and more and more in that space. But with, let's say, LLMs and those things, something I predicted a while back is it actually requires us to be more of an expert, to understand the outputs and to be able to see what's the hallucinations, if we can call it like that, where it looks really good, be it code, that it, but ultimately, I think we need to really upskill ourselves in the fundamentals of, and when I say fundamentals, in terms of the stack, still understanding SQL properly, Python analytic tools, that AI layer, Chris mentioned prompting, etc. We really need to understand those tools so that we can take what is given to us by the AI and really vet it for the quality of it and build on it and extend on it. So that's just some of my thoughts.
Yeah. That's really, really interesting. And I guess looking at AI automations a little deeper, it's one of those biggest areas of impact, entry-level roles that once focused on manual data and manipulation of data will require, as you've said, more, and as Chris said, more technical advanced skills and a deeper understanding of the AI-driven tools that are available as well. Analysts will be expected to focus more on those AI-driven tasks. This shift is part of a broader trend where AI is increasingly integrated into analytics processes, making AI proficiency a critical skill for analysts now and moving into the future. So whilst automation is a massive opportunity, it also presents risks. AI-driven automation can lead to job displacement in low skill areas of data analysis, but it also creates high-level opportunities in managing AI systems, interpreting complex outputs, and developing new AI-driven strategies. Do you, Leo, see it as both an opportunity and a threat to the data industry as well in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the opportunity is that it becomes potentially a lot more affordable for a much bigger market, because so much money went into that, let's call it the grunt work, without showing a lot of value. So we'll be able to go into the market and potentially have a lot more work opportunities within organizations, and you'll be able to go into small organizations as well within the space and add value because of that. So I think in that sense, yes, from a career perspective, people, like I said, traditionally that was kind of stuck in doing that basic low-level work, they're going to feel the squeeze. But the market, I think, is going to expand because we're going to quickly move to higher end deliverables, adding value, and the industry will see it. But at the same time, you touched on it earlier, elements like properly framing problems, storytelling, stakeholder engagement, those will be there. And specifically, like I said, AI oversight. We need to understand what the AI. So you get AI match with a co-worker, then you would have, it's not going to do the work, but as a co-worker and having a supervisory role, advisory role, and tweaking at the high end of the more challenging solutions and impacting there. And as I said earlier, so really, really understanding those skills, even though the AI is going to produce the code, for example, but to have deep insight into that code, I think is going to be critical, so that you can add value even to the code and the analysis. And that's what I would suggest, also positioning yourself going into this future and taking all of those opportunities. Your turn to be on mute, Daniel.
Yeah, I just caught that. I should donate $1 to charity every time that occurs. I'd be there'd be a number of people better off than I. You're exactly right, and I think I've just monitored some of the chat as you were speaking, and Sabata in the chat makes a really great point of saying one interesting point is that AI will not replace workers. Workers will be replaced by those with expertise in AI, and that's the window of opportunity that this presents right here and now as well. Right, we've done the first segment. I'm a 1 minute or two over time, and I'm very conscious of time because we do want to get to as many questions from the audience as we can. Just a reminder, pop your questions in the Q&A. There's a couple in there already. Once there's more coming through from the audience, feel free to upvote them and we'll get to those first as well. But now we move on to navigating the data skill journey, which is what so many people are here for as well. And I've got a question for the audience in a moment. But let's talk about the journey from basic spreadsheet skills to advanced analytics, because the journey, I guess this journey is the backbone of a career in data. Despite all the talk about AI and automation, the fundamental skills do still matter. In fact, as of 2025, this year, around 55% of employees in the UK still have no or only basic spreadsheet skills. That's a staggering figure in a world considering the increase in drive of data that we're all experiencing. So on the surface, it looks like a problem, and it is to some degree. But as I said, it's also one of the biggest opportunities in the market. Spreadsheet tools like Excel remain the most common entry point for working with data. They're where you first learn how data is structured, how to perform basic analysis, and how to communicate insights as well. The fact that more than half of the workforce still lacks those skills means there's massive skills gaps just waiting to be filled with these basic entry-level skills, but also more advanced, as we'll touch on as well. And those who do build a strong foundation here are able to stand out quickly and add more value from day one. It's the business application of the technical that I'll keep saying that employers are now seeking. More importantly, this isn't just about spreadsheets. It's building foundational skills in what unlocks the path to more advanced analytics capabilities. Things like Python, SQL, machine learning, and AI-driven analysis. You can't run before you walk, and at this stage is where you learn how to think like a data professional as well. Many of our audience would be in that boat looking to commence their careers, and many would be looking to change with a skill set already or advance even their existing and advanced data skills. So really great opportunity. So while everyone's talking about AI, the real story is that for people who master the basics are still best positioned to take advantage of those advanced tools as your learning grows. We'll go to the next sheet, next page if we can. And just before I do talk about the skills pathway, can you pop in the chat for the audience benefit or for the audience, just one of three words. Are you looking to commence your career in data? Are you looking to change careers into data? Or are you looking to advance your existing career in data? So just put commence, change, or advance in the chat, and that will certainly help me tailor a little bit of what we focus on as well. So there's a lot of advances, there's some changes, it'll all come through, and I'll keep an eye on that as well. But with foundational and programming skills in mind, we get this skills pyramid. This is your pathway from spreadsheets to AI. And it also lists the skills most in demand in the job market now and in the years with a lens to the future, as we just went through. So database skills. SQL will remain crucial, appearing in up to 60% of all data job posts alongside Python. This underscores the continued importance of database management and skills in data roles. Programming skills. 86% of data scientists reported Python as their main programming language for current projects. It's not surprising. Data visualization, tools like Tableau and Power BI are essential, as is Python, for communicating insights effectively. Statistical analysis. Understanding statistical concepts and tools is crucial for deriving meaningful insights from the data that you're working with. Then finally, GenAI and machine learning. With rapid growth in AI engineer roles, skills in areas like deep learning, NLP, and computer vision agentic are becoming more increasingly valuable. As automation handles more mundane tasks, data professionals must focus on high-value skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and we touched on it earlier, ethical data usage. If you can demonstrate that to employers, you're well on the way to securing that role. We'll also see an emphasis on soft skills like communication and problem solving. They're already critical. And they are for data professionals who need to explain complex insights, especially to non-technical stakeholders, as I'm sure you are aware or will understand. Leo, have you seen data analysts evolve their skills from entry-level tools like Excel to more advanced platforms like Python or machine learning libraries on a regular basis?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Daniel. I think it is really where we're at. But I think the one thing that's been interesting for me to witness is that those that have really thrived even through that transition are the ones where the softer skills, the analytical skills, those skills are constant, right from when they worked with the Excel sheets, going through the motion. So in that case, the upgrade of the tool is just that. It's upgrade of the tool. So if you really want to thrive, I think those fundamental skills, but then building, seeing teams that start by automating a monthly Excel report in Python, they expand it into reproducible pipelines, and then eventually light ML, we're seeing more of that, forecasting. But ultimately the same thinking, just better tooling as they go. And typically that transition starts with some pain point. The Excel sheet just gets too big. I've seen large insurers where they love their spreadsheet, right? But at some point, it just can't handle the models anymore, and they're just forced to transition into some Swift SQL to actually get the job done. So yes, now that has been the progression, typically as what you have put there, sometimes doing a bit of a leap. But as I said, there's also the thinking and the problem solving, the fundamental skills. Those are the things that stay constant, irrelevant of the tooling.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And for the audience, you've got some great insights there, and there'll be more to come, obviously. Just a reminder for the audience, if you've got a question, please pop it in the Q&A, not the chat. I can see a few coming through the chat, and there's some really good ones in there, but I will be monitoring and administering it from the Q&A function. So get your questions in. There's some really good ones in there, and thank you for everyone that's engaging, also with letting us know where you are in your data journey as well. I'm going to be a little bit in depth here because this is, I find, really interesting. One of the most significant trends shaping AI and data landscape is the growing focus of ethical AI. As AI models are used more frequently to make decisions, the demand for data professionals who understand the ethical implications of AI is skyrocketing. According to Gartner, by 2026, now, only a few weeks away, or in the middle of next year, 50% of governments worldwide will enforce responsible AI regulations, policies, and data privacy frameworks more so than what they currently are, signalling that ethics and governance are becoming much, much more aware, mainstream, and in demand. We also touched on the fact earlier that professionals in all kinds of careers and industries are needing to learn data skills. This speaks to another key trend of the future: data democratization, where AI tools and no-code or low-code platforms make data analytics accessible to non-data professionals. In fact, the low-code application development platform market is projected to grow at about 22.3% in the coming 3 or 4 years, showing that organisations expect lots of people using data tools, not just specialist analysts. However, these platforms also mean data analysts will need to differentiate themselves, not just using the tools, but mastering more advanced AI integrations, ensuring data integrity, and in a democratized environment, and guiding ethical frameworks around usage. I think that's a really key takeaway. Chris, for someone starting out in data, as many in the audience have indicated they are, or looking to advance and add this string to their bow, what habits or principles would you suggest to help them build an ethical mindset from the start, or from a change of career?
Yeah, so to build more of an ethical mindset, I think they should look to respect the privacy from like from day one, as you mentioned, always question where the data handling could be stored or shared, and question the bias, check how the data is sourced, used, and be mindful of the algorithms and reporting. And then just you can even document decisions. So the transparency builds the accountability, keeping a clear record of where the data is processed, and building those sorts of ethical principles will lead you into the best ways moving forwards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's the biases too that can be unconscious at times within automated models. I do recall a story some time ago now with a university in America that used an a very early AI model of targeting what the model developed, or what the input that they gave the model was to target successful learners for pre-enrollment. So the machine learning aspect obviously narrowed it down and down and down on the parameters of what was a successful learner. But on day one of the first day of the semester, there was no diversity in the class at all for the first time. So we have to be very conscious of conscious biases, but also unconscious biases when it also comes to consideration of privacy and ethics as well. So let's consider the takeaways so far. As we go to future-proof your data career. As automation progresses, the data skills we use now may not be the same skills we use in the future. Upskilling, reskilling, new tools, all those types of things are critical. And that's why many of the audience are here today, obviously, to learn more about that. Data analysts will focus more on advanced AI-driven tasks, including automation, predictive analytics, and real-time data insights. The demand for data professionals who understand the ethical implications of AI is only ever going to increase. And if we consider back to that the learning pyramid as well, that database skills, the Excel skills, we move to programming, data visualization, statistical analysis, GenAI, then machine learning and agentic AI, as well as a learning pyramid, so to speak. We are going to go over the program now, and there's some great questions coming through. I'd like some more from the audience, but I'm going to give a quick overview of the program and then direct some of your questions to the panel. And just a reminder, I will stick around longer if anyone wants to know more about the program, some even learner stories, and I can even do portfolio examples and the like as well, but I'll certainly let the gentleman go at the top of the hour. So we designed the Career Accelerator, as I mentioned at the top, for those that weren't here, in true collaboration between LSE Online and our industry partners. We consult with industry, understanding the challenges that they encounter and the solutions they're seeking, and then combine them both for the benefit of the learner. It is education designed for career impact. Helping you go further faster is the best way I can sum it up. Basically, it's in high demand from an employer perspective. Course one, building your foundation, and it's actually the business alignment is even in the title. It's data analytics for business. So build your foundation. Use tools that you will in the first course, which runs for 6 weeks in Excel, Tableau, and SQL, to create visualizations and dashboards. There are no exams in the program. You instead develop a portfolio of real demonstrable skills through the submissions of many major projects and assignments. So that runs for 6 weeks. Then course two, programming skills, you'll move into Python. It's Python for business applications. So use Python to explore and visualize data, to present key findings to stakeholders. And then course three, advanced analytics for organizational impact. Again, business focused. So it's highly technical, but yet completely business relevant and impactful. So using Python and R and statistical modeling to predict future business outcomes and make recommendations. Your learning outcomes from those 3 6-week courses, the third one's 8 weeks, then enable your participation in a live industry-facing project at the end. So practical application of learning in the real world is what is valued by employers. So you will meet with one of our employer partners. They'll present to you a real data-related challenge that their organisation currently experiences. And as a team of 5 or 6 high-caliber learners together, through the application of learning in your first 3 courses, you'll come up with innovative and tangible solutions to that scenario, presenting your recommendations back to the employer partner in a consultancy style presentation at the end. The benefits of that are numerous. Obviously, it's practical application in the real world. It's brilliant for networking with your peers more deeply from any part of the world, as we saw earlier. But it's also a brilliant networking opportunity with industry. Lastly, when you are seeking a new role, be it to advance, be it to change, or be it to commence your data career, it is a much more powerful demonstration of your value to a prospective employer to demonstrate that you have had the business impact opportunity of working on a real world project such as that, coupling that with your transferable skills, no doubt that you have already, and you've got a very, very strong proposition there. On top of that, it is about 20 hours per week. It is delivered with a blend of synchronous and asynchronous learning. So there are live sessions every week with an industry-based facilitator where you'll go through the module of that week, and they'll also have a drop-in Q&A session. And then the rest is asynchronous, meaning that you choose when and how study fits in with your life. However, there are sacrifices to be made to commit to a 20-hour per week, 6-month-long intensive program with LSE. But the future is exactly what we've just outlined. The skills that you'll obtain will enable you to achieve that. How we do that also is not just through the learning outcomes, although that is obviously the benefit, but we also provide career coaching. This is a missing piece with many programs. So you will receive one-on-one career coaching from an executive style career coach. Every month, for one meeting per month, you'll meet with your career coach, and they're going to help you, as I said earlier, achieve your intended outcomes sooner. They'll go through a goal setting process, help you position your new skills along with your transferable skills from other roles that you may have had, develop your online presence, develop your resume to a point, interview techniques. All of that is included for 12 months, 6 months during the course and 6 months post, often when you're looking to apply for new roles. If you don't obtain your intended outcome in that 12 months, we'll extend the coaching by another 6 months to ensure that you do. We're very, very proud as a company here at Fourth Rev that our North Star metric is your career outcome, and that's everything that we do is geared towards you achieving that. The entry criteria, I'll touch on very, very quickly. It is aimed at postgraduate level, and there is a postgraduate certificate component. After you finish the Career Accelerator, obtain your intended outcome, you can come back and complete a workplace-based project and dissertation to obtain a level 7 postgraduate certificate from LSE. We're speaking more about the Career Accelerator here. The entry criteria is that you have either completed a bachelor degree containing a quantitative unit of study, or that you have more than 2 years of experience that relates to data, or that you pass a technical test. The best thing that you can do is book a time with your enrolment advisor, who will be able to guide you through that process. The application process is very, very straightforward. It is a case of uploading your transcripts, your resume, and your identity document. If that presents further questions, and I'm going to go over cost and payment options as well now, but pop your questions in the Q&A. We're going to get to the questions that are relevant for the panel now, before I answer the other questions regarding I'm just seeing how many coming through, regarding the application process and the like as well. Just before we move on to the fees, I'm going to just touch on AI integration of the program very, very quickly. And sorry for speaking so much and so fast. I just want to get through it so we can get to the audience questions. If we can go to the next slide, it is important to understand also how AI is integrated into the program. We adapt very, very quickly to ensure that you receive up to the minute relevant skills. So instead of embedding it within course 1 and 2, although you'll use AI all throughout the program, we've also built a data skill set and a learning track because it is so important. And it involves 4 expert-led masterclasses, real-world case studies and live GenAI demos, build the AI skills through those needed in the workplace, and study AI ethics. And you can also earn a digital badge to show that to prospective employer. But the 4 expert-led masterclasses are critical because they're up to the minute relevant, and they cover the key topics to enable you to shine in your quest to demonstrate your AI skills to prospective employers as well. Hopefully that might answer a question or two regarding AI in the program. Everything relating to the fees, including all of those up to 18 months of career coaching, all the tools, the support that you'll receive is £8,850 with a concession of £850 if you pay up front. So it will reduce it down to £799.95. But we do want to make it accessible for many looking to invest in themselves. And we do that by offering not just upfront payment, but payment plan options as well. So there's a 6-month payment plan with no fees and no interest. Or if you need to spread it out further, we do have a partnership with our finance provider in StepX, who will provide a 24-month payment plan, provided that you meet the finance criteria with only a £20 application fee, and again, no interest. You're looking at about £330 per month thereafter. So there's a quick overview. There's much, much more I'll go to for those that want to stick around, and I'll even demonstrate career outcomes and a learner's portfolio. And we'll come to addressing your concerns a little bit later. I'm going to jump into the Q&A now, if I can. Let me bring it up and we'll work from the top. So what does a prompt engineer do? Thank you for everyone that's submitted questions. I might ask either Leo or Chris to answer this one, but prompt engineering, and is it a specific role, as someone's asked? What does a prompt engineer do, and what kind of background qualifies to be a prompt engineer? Leo.
Chris also made quite a couple of references to prompt engineering, but yeah, in theory, a prompt engineer probably they're the people that design, test, how people in the system talk to AI, so that the outputs are reliable, safe, useful. But to be honest with you, I think, and this is just my opinion, it's a role that's kind of come and gone. I've been using LLMs quite effectively to describe what I want and then interrogate the output where you have a system prompt and then a user prompt designed. And as you are interacting with the results, tweaking, say this is wrong, this is right, I want more of that. And working with the LLMs to design those prompts that ultimately, the original, we just saw OpenAI launch ChatGPT, and there was this whole thing about prompt engineering. It was big in the news. But so in theory, prompt engineers, they turn vague goals into precise instructions. They build prompt templates, multiple step flows, and that I've seen. When we look at, I'm seeing a lot of skins out there that are accessing these LLM models, and they go niche, they go vertical, and effectively they're all accessing the same models. GPT-5, Claude 2, Gemini. We could go into these models, but the power lies in the prompts behind it that you don't even see always, and how that is shaped when you go into a particular vertical. And so when I say I don't think it's a thing, I think it's part of the skill set that we need. And as I said earlier, we've seen these roles evolve. But for you to be a good prompt engineer, you also need to be a subject matter expert. So I'm seeing it's more a matter of the analysts that understand the problem set properly, and then also understand how these tools work. And that's probably the thing I'd suggest as a good starting point when you want to play in that space. Understand your tool, because the different LLMs do not do the same thing. The different LMMs and so forth. So understand the underlying things. Some are made to be more creative. We heard about reasoning models versus your original models. Even the concept of hallucination. Is it really hallucination? We're expecting something to be creative. Yeah. So how can you expect it to be creative and it can't come up with a bit of garbage, if I can say it like that? And that's where that blend of understanding how the prompting works, I think, is important. So even if you're using an LLM to help you with writing your prompts, that understanding of what it is returning, how to improve it, I think is very valuable.
I
like to hear your
completely
thoughts,
agree.
Chris.
think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's kind of creating the best possible prompt response to generate, sorry, the best possible output. So yeah, in the way you've worded that, Leo, I don't think I can really add to that. I think it was the perfect response, really.
Perfect, gentlemen. Thank you both. Luigi, it sort of ties in a little bit with Luigi's comment and question here. With data entry being managed through AI, don't we risk outlier entries being ironed out and perceived as human error or mistakes? He feels that outliers are an essential part of data analysis and may highlight pioneering or innovative events. And there was a really good example of that in the prediction of Brexit, I think, from memory, and the outlier data was not taken into consideration, and a lot of people got that wrong. I think there's a case study on that. Any thoughts on Luigi's question there, Chris or Leo?
Very happy to take it. I think there is a real risk that AI-based entry, it smooths away meaningful outliers. One of the solutions that I've seen is to preserve that raw data. And so you have AI suggest rather than overwrite, and create an anomaly type of workflow where rare cases are reviewed and learned from. So again, it's about the prompting, how you're using it. So AI should flag the unusual rather than erase it. And I often say to people, if you go look at these models, just test it. It's going to answer what you ask it to answer. So if you ask, why should I sell my house? It's going to tell you exactly why you're going to sell your house. It's not out of the blue, they're going to say, okay, but this is why you shouldn't sell it. So at the same time, it comes back to that prompt engineering, and it comes to what you instructed to do and understanding the model. If you understand what it does with the data, then you tell it to not do it with the data. And like I said, keep that raw data and also report on the anomalies rather than erase it.
Exactly. We'll get through some more before the top of the hour, and I'm happy to stick around. And please, for the audience benefit, we do have a special offer for attendees that I'll announce before the top of the hour as well. Akshana, I'm glad you put this question in. Entry-level roles that now require applicants to come with the skills such as coding. How can we ensure we are upskilled? What courses would you recommend? You've got to take an open approach, Akshana, and I don't want to just focus, wholly and solely on this because it's an option for most, but not for everyone. I completely understand, but it is the most well-rounded way to which obtain those skills to accept an entry or to impress within an entry level role as well. So alongside not only the learning outcomes being so practical, you're developing that portfolio of evidence, but you've also got thereafter a career coach guiding you through that to enable you to shine in front of employers. It will give you the career acceleration, hence the term, that you need or you're seeking. Taranjit, there's no prerequisite for learning Python. Anyone can learn Python from scratch, but it is a big part of this program. You can see a poll up there at the moment. We'll come back to the poll in a moment. We'd love to know if you have any concerns regarding time, finances, lack of technical expertise or uncertainty about career transition as your barrier, and we'll try and address them as well. I'll get through some more questions. Malcolm, thank you for your contribution. For someone looking to start a consulting company, financial business advisory, M&A, how good can one make use of a career accelerator with LSE? Malcolm, great question. And I'd love to answer that in a lot more depth than I have time for now, but we've seen many, many learners in your circumstances take the program and excel within their own environments, in their own businesses, because of the practical nature of learning. Your submissions not only go towards development of a portfolio, but the learning outcomes are immediately implementable as they are based on real world examples within your consulting company as well, but also how you present and pitch what it is that you do to companies as prospective customers would certainly be enhanced. Please speak with your enrolment advisor to get a little bit more depth surrounding that as well. Taranjit has asked, what's the structure for the classes? And I might come back to that one. And I'll just see if there's any others here for the... Lucas has asked, and maybe Chris, you can help me with this one. If the low code and no code trend will be the end result, Does that mean that the largest shift coming is away from technical skills towards the soft skills? In this context, the most important skill would be the ability to make stakeholders in the business not understand but trust in the AI output. What's your opinion on that? I really appreciate that question, Lucas. Any thought on that, Chris?
Yeah, so I do hear a lot of soft skills coming about. I've been to many talks over the past so many years in different spaces, and soft skills has always been something that's come up. I think being able to create and tell a story from data, that sort of thing, is really important. So from that point of view, I'd say yes. If from like generating the output, I don't think I wouldn't write it off at this point. I would still, use code as much as possible and not like overrule it. But yes, I'd say there's some truth behind that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there are people that need to build that as well. So the demand on the other side is only going to increase. I love this. Thank you, Lucas, for that question. It's a really good one. And positioning yourself with the skills now is only going to assist. Anonymous has asked, I'm currently doing a humanities degree, history and political economy. Hope it was at LSE. It was mentioned that critical thinking and crafting narratives will become a significant skill for data analysts. Similar to the last question, does this mean my degree will have greater consideration in this field so long as I develop the programming skills that are needed? In the interest of time, I'm going to be brief, but say that is a fantastic question. And yes, the more transferable skills that you have coupled with the technical skills that this program offers, the greater opportunity that you have and the greater positioning power you have when speaking and highlighting those existing technical or the new technical and existing skills and the difference of thinking that you bring to that. I think that's a fantastic question and a way to think about it as well. Let's get through some more, and I'm going to close the poll now and we'll see. So 22%, I'm going to share the results. 22% said time, 48% said financial, only 10% said lack of technical, and 20% said uncertain career transition or success. Thank you so much. And it's expected that that data would be around that mark. Time commitment's a challenge. Financial investment. It's not cost when you're investing in yourself, and the return is a high-paying role in the future. It's certainly an investment in oneself, but it's still a barrier for some. I'm glad to see lack of technical experience is so low, and uncertainty regarding career transition success. It's a big decision, changing careers, but it's also an exciting one. I've done it numerous times myself, as you can tell by the colour of my hair. I've done a few. Natisha's asked, who are the employer partners? Can we be coupled with them based on the industry we are looking to advance in? Great question. We have all sorts of employer partners. As the program commences in February, and then therefore the employer project won't be till around August, September. We don't know what the exact challenge that businesses will be facing this far out, but we're already in discussion with all sorts of organisations. Yes, there is an opportunity to nominate the type of employer, not the type of employer, nominate for one of the employer projects that is to your preference. We do look at it very strategically when we formulate the teams, be it background, level of experience, geography, all those types of things. But you certainly do get to say which one you'd prefer. So many questions, so little time. I'm going to stick around. Matthias, I'm going to touch on the payment plans shortly. Ayub, I'll touch on that exactly in shortly as well. And Anonymous has said, and I'm going to get Leo just to finish up here before I'll let you gentlemen go, and I'll stick around and demonstrate a portfolio and application process if people would like. Anonymous has asked here, from being a technical accountant with over 20 years experience, how would I remain competitive with the young finance cohorts graduating with these skills already and ahead of myself? The companies will employ young blood. No. What do you think about that thought, that concern that audience member has?
I think I'd start by saying what gives you that competitive edge as a 20-year experienced person. The reality is that young blood, they can't fake chat judgment, right? They can't, not context or trust. And I've seen a lot, the traditional consulting model, a lot of analysts, we're seeing how these things are changing. So whilst AI and new tools make technical execution a lot cheaper, spreadsheet, dashboards, even that first draft analysis, the reality is it means that firms will increasingly, in my opinion, prize people who can interpret the numbers in the real world. They need to spot the risk, they understand the controls, and importantly, explain implications to decision makers. So the young graduates might arrive with the Python skills and the BI, but the reality is, be it accounting or any other profession, they're gonna lack that deep intuition, knowing what looks wrong.
The business
How
experience, isn't it? That life
that
experience.
acumen experience, and you, like I said, you still need the 20 years to get that, and that's
Yeah.
ultimately so. Your experience plus the skills that we're talking about, that makes you a prized offer to the employment market.
That's exactly right.
And you've got that edge that can't be caught up. And like I said earlier, even with these LLMs that we're seeing, it looks like they're just spewing out the answers. The reality is, only if you're a deep expert can you see when the answer is not right, because they make it sound convincing, right? These models, you read it and you think this is just it. And it takes that expert knowledge to be able to see what's reality and what's hallucinations. So I won't be worried in terms of that, because it can't get replaced, the experience. However, you can get the Python skills, you can get the SQL skills, that you can do in a couple of months. You can't get 20 years of experience in a couple of months.
That's a great way of putting it, Leo. And anonymous, whoever put that question in, that would be a very compelling proposition to come with that much experience and add the technical skills to you through the Career Accelerator, for example, and have the guidance of a career coach enabling you to highlight those skills to prospective or current employers looking for promotion. It will be a compelling proposition. I'm going to thank the panel. I'm also going to announce, for those that are still in attendance and for those that apply early, i.e. before this weekend, that there is a very special offer available to you. Speak with your enrolment advisor, submit your application and speak with your enrolment advisor, but you'll receive up to £750 off the cost of the program. Or we're going to be offering 2 career coaching sessions before you commence in February. It's critical, though, that there's only 20 placements available for the fee concession, only 20, and it's first come, first serve. So get your application in today if you can. Just upload your transcript or your resume, your identity document. Our team of enrolment advisors will reach out to you, or book a time with them and discuss any other concerns that you have. Those that miss out on that fee concession can still obtain the 2 additional free coaching sessions before the course commences in February. I'm going to stick around. We've still got 20 questions in the Q&A, and I'm going to get through as many as we can. I do want to demonstrate a portfolio example for the audience, but it is time to say cheerio to Chris and Leo, and thank you so much for your time, and your insights have been invaluable for myself. You've inspired me in many ways, but I'm sure more so the audience as well. So thanks, Chris. Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
My pleasure. For everyone else, I'm going to just give a quick rehash and then get through some of the questions that we have. Just a reminder, it is a 6-month course with LSE online. It is made up of 3 courses and 1 live industry-facing project at the end. You cover Excel, SQL, Python in advanced ways, R, along with Tableau. And it's very practical. You'll develop a portfolio of skills that I'm going to demonstrate in a moment. You'll develop a live portfolio that you'll be really proud to show employers. It is aimed at postgraduate level, but you can get in with your professional experience if you don't have an undergraduate degree. But if you have an undergraduate degree and it contains a quantitative unit of study, you're in. If you don't have either, you can take an aptitude test. You'll have to speak with your enrolment advisor regarding that. It contains up to also 18 months of one-on-one career coaching. 12 months standard, 6 months during the course. You'll go through goal setting processes, strategic positioning of your skill set, identification of employers and industries, all sorts of different things with your career coach, and then you'll go into a phase of execution on that strategy. And if you don't obtain your intended and nominated outcome before the end of that 12 months of coaching, we'll extend it for another 6 months. So up to 18 months of career coaching to ensure that you would obtain your intended outcome, and 2 more before you start for those that applied before the end of tomorrow. Navina, I missed that one of the panel. I've got your name there. I'll come back if I can. Taranjit has asked, what's the structure of the classes? Are they held weekends or Saturdays? What tutor support do you provide to the students? So great question. And the delivery is a blend of synchronous and asynchronous. So there are live sessions, usually once of a lunchtime, UK time, and the other session will be of an evening. If you can't attend live, you can choose, they are recorded, so you can choose to watch the recording at another time, but it's always best to attend live so that you can ask questions that are pertinent to yourself or hear other learners engaging. We develop a very, very strong sense of community within the cohort as well. So the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. But there is a platform in which you engage with each other, share success stories of implementation of learning in your workplace, career support, all those types of things that we foster that shared learning environment that you'd normally get in an on-campus experience. And you will also get to attend LSE for a graduation celebration as well. 20 hours a week is structured like this. Monday, you may come home from work and be excited to get into a new week's or a new module, and you'll do a couple of hours on a Monday night. And this is for someone that's working. It's completely flexible. If someone just wanted to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they could do it. But for someone that's working, as most of our learners are, you'll do a couple of hours on a Monday. Tuesday, you'll attend the live session during the lunchtime. You'll come home again with a whole new approach to a challenge that you may have been experiencing. You'll get through that and do another couple of hours on Tuesday. Wednesday's hard. You know, you come home a bit tired from work. It's been a bit dreary on the tube, whatever. And you don't feel like studying, and your partner says, let's start that Netflix series, and that's the enemy of study. And you say, look, hang on 1 second. I'm just going to log on for 10 minutes. And you log on for 10 minutes and you go down a rabbit hole and you end up doing an hour, or you log on for 10 minutes and you actually think, you know what? I am too tired. I'm going to sit down and watch 1 episode with my partner because I've given it a go. I've shown up for 10 minutes. And at least you won't be sitting on the couch then thinking, I should be studying. Thursday, you'll attend an evening session. You'll engage with some of the learners. You'll do another couple of hours. Friday, you have off, for example. You want to socialise, go for dinner, whatever you want to do. And then you'll do a block on Saturday and Sunday. It is a big commitment, but taking you from a position where you are currently to where you want to be that advancing your existing career with new skills or enhanced skills, be that changing careers, which is one of the biggest and most challenging decisions, yet one of the most fruitful because you're looking to change for a reason, be it more pay, be it better enjoyment, be it future-proofing your career in the digital economy, or whether you're looking to commence your career. It is a commitment, yet it is a rewarding commitment as well. So that's what a typical week of study would look like. You're working towards submitting your work. You're working on real business case examples that resonate with you, and you're developing a portfolio as you go before you work on the final project with industry. So Taranjit, thank you ever so kindly for your question. Sorry, I took a little while to answer it, but I thought it was a good example. Do you need a programming background for this course at all? Bitters has asked. No, the expectation is that you have a working knowledge of Excel with pivot tables, for example, rather than learning the basics of Excel. So you can learn data analytics from day one rather than the basics of Excel. I've answered that one. I'm just going to move this over here so I'm not looking at my other screen. Oh, you wanted me to show you a example portfolio. And some of you may have seen this already, but this is a very inspiring learner of ours in LSE. She did the program a few years ago actually, but very quickly made her transition from being a teacher to a data analyst, and is now heading up a data unit within the NHS. And she's also a part-time facilitator on the program. Just a very quick, let me just change something. Hang on one second. I've got to be careful of GDPR here. Hang on one second. I need to make it in a different window, because we all have too many tabs open, don't we? Let me share this portfolio here. Hope that's working for everyone. This is Elodie's portfolio. Elodie studied the program a couple of years ago, was a teacher, had somewhat of a technical understanding, but made a very successful career transition into data during the program, overcame a lot of hurdles that she had, and had a very successful transition with the support of a career coach. She's flourishing now and is at the NHS heading up a division of data there. So this is her portfolio. This is what she developed during the program. So firstly, data analytics for business to market. You'll see that the first goal of the assignment was to provide insight for to market, an online supermarket using SQL and Tableau, both for the first time for her. And she goes through her approach, all the insights that she discovered, and then she visualizes it here. So you can imagine going through the program and coming up with these types of outcomes and how it would look in your portfolio, and hopefully how many employers would see that and go, wow, that's the person for me. But think about compounding that through 6 months of learning where you're contributing to your portfolio every week, and you've got support with your career coach to help that shine as well, to make it pop, to make it stand out, because it's very tough to get your portfolio in front of an employer, more so that even when it is in front of an employer, to make it stand out. And that's just a very, very quick overview of Elodie's portfolio there. It is in the brochure, so you've all got the brochure. You can see it in much more depth there as well. Ayub's asked, why is LSE almost double the cost of Imperial for data analytics? Do you focus more on industry links and employer partners with real business case studies and portfolios? Ayub, great question. Yes, in essence, 18 months of career coaching is worth many thousands of pounds. But more important than that is the practical nature of learning and the fact that the program is developed with industry and LSE online, ensuring that the career outcomes are at the forefront of the content development. That's what it's all about. It's not academic knowledge for knowledge's sake, and it's not an exam that you put to one side and never look at it again. It is based on real world project examples with amazing employers that have contributed to the content development, but it is also designed to be productive in its outcome. Practical yet productive in that you build that portfolio, and then you're guided to attain your intended career outcome with an executive style career coach as well. And it is very, very thorough. So great question, and thank you. Is this program considered as higher education short course, as I'm thinking of applying for a government loan? No, it's not currently, but we do have the payment plans available to you, and Matthias has asked that question again. There is a discount of just over £850 if you pay upfront, reducing the fees down to $7,995, or you have a 6-month payment plan with a 10% deposit with no fees and no interest, or we can offer a finance product through StepX where there's only a £20 application fee, and then there are no ongoing fees or interest associated with that. So I hope that helps, and it certainly has helped many learners access the program and achieve their outcomes well ahead of time. I'm not necessarily looking to transition to data science role, but I do want to build more technical fluency in data gathering, manipulation and analysis, including visualization. Is the Data Accelerator the right course, or does LSE have another course that would get me the same outcome? Yeah, great question. This won't make you a data scientist. It's got data science elements. This is more data analytics. And I think even for any role these days, having the fundamentals of data analysis and visualization is going to enhance your opportunity to demonstrate the importance of data in your role and for any business as well. So I would highly recommend it. Of course, look at what else LSE has available, but I think you would obtain a great deal of value from the Career Accelerator. How much overlap, Bid has asked, and thanks for your engagement, Bidder. I know you've asked a few questions and I'm going to continue to get to more questions now. Mateus, I've answered the payment plan ones. How much overlap, Bidder has asked, is there between this course and ethics in AI that is available by LSE? If one is interested in mainly the ethical implications, does this course cover it in full? Bidder, good question. If it is not your intent to build models, to do the analysis and to present that in a way in which businesses require data analysts to do so now, leveraging AI as well, then this isn't the program. If it's just the ethics of AI that is available that you're seeking, then that's certainly covered in this program, but it's much, much, much more than that. If it's just that you're seeking, please do look at that or book a time with your enrolment advisor and they will go in much more depth over the pros and cons of both. Lauren, yes. You're currently enrolled in the Data Analysis for Management short course at LSE, is that? I take it. If you can give me a thumbs up if you're still here. If I then enroll in the Career Accelerator, will this be the next best step or will I be reviewing the same material? No, we've had many come from that, Lauren. And if it is with LSE, there is a 20% fee reduction for alumni. You're classed as someone that has completed a program at LSE previously, and anyone is eligible for a 20% fee reduction. Just a reminder for those of you still here, and there's still so many of you, thank you so kindly. The fee concession that I mentioned earlier is available to those that apply before Friday, as is the additional 2 coaching sessions. Lauren, we hope to welcome and support you. Natasha's asked, project with industry. Do we work with a company at their location or virtual from home? And would the company interact with us for feedback? Great question. Everything's 100% online. And the reason for that is that we welcome learners from all over the world. So the majority, 75% are probably UK based, but we've got learners from every other corner of the world. And in fact, on our socials, we recently published a map where, I wish I had it, where we had visualized through data tools where all of our learners are. And it's harder to find places that don't have a graduate of ours than it is. So it's amazing, but that's why it's all online. And yes, you will receive feedback on the project as a team as well. Great question there. Let's get through some more. Are there any modules that expand on governance and control use of AI automation, Ruben? The modules, it's covered, certainly. Governance is a big part of it, and they do expand, but depending on your interpretation of expand, it's similar to the question I had answered previously regarding what it is that you're seeking to specialise in. If it's a well-rounded data analysis skill set with AI and governance understandings and ethics tied in, then this is it for you for sure. I work in a 5-star hotel. Great people come from 5-star hotels. Many, many moons ago, I did too. As a sales manager, what is the best program you recommend as I want to move into AI? AI is a big area, and if you want to move into it, the building blocks and that building block of skills that we showed in that pyramid earlier is the best way to go about it, starting with the fundamentals, understanding the background of machine learning and what builds AI and the like before executing on that. But it also depends on what area of AI you want to move into. But with sales skills and being a sales manager, you're exposed to data all the time. And this program will certainly elevate your ability to use data to predict, but to demonstrate also value and impact for business as well. Luigi, thanks for your contributions as well. Will this course equip us with data visualization skills, producing infographics and accessible diagrams? I showed you, yes, Luigi, all the way through. Tableau, we partner with Tableau for our data visualization. You'll do some with Python later in the program a little, but it is a core part of every course that you do, that you will be using visualization tools. It's critical to be adept, competent, and able to demonstrate complex data scenarios, situation data sets to business owners. And as we said throughout the webinar session today, often translating that to people with a non-technical background is a skill into itself. So Luigi, it's covered all throughout with our partner in Tableau. Mohamedou is interested in energy modelling. We've got so many in the renewable sector and have a master's degree in renewable energy and hydrogen. So this is going to add value or changement of career. It depends on you. I think it would be apt to combine both. Your skills in that growing area are already in demand, but adding a layer of data interpretation, visualization, analysis, and AI to that will only help you a great deal. Someone's asked, will we send the recording? Where you may find, yes, we certainly will. If you've registered, you will receive a recording as well. Just one moment. Apologies, I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to keep going though. I'm a master's graduate in management with zero technical background. Will I be able to make it to the end? Shratha, absolutely. Good on you too. We've had many, many learners in a similar situation to yourself have a complete successful career transition, and Elodie's story is an example of that, as well as hundreds of others as well. Someone said here, I'm an engineer with extensive academic experience in Python, SQL, and R. However, I'm still struggling to commence my data career. How is this course different from university courses that guarantee a job after completion? So the boot camps and that mention that they've got a job guarantee. We have an outcome guarantee through effective learning, content, and coaching. We won't guarantee that you'll get an entry-level role, and please be careful with a lot of those guarantees that are out there that say if you don't get a job by the completion, you'll get a refund. Look into the terms and conditions. You've got to apply for certain roles. You've got to apply for in certain sectors, and even with certain employers at some times. And we've just had a number of stories where people have come to us with a similar hesitancy as yourself, having gone through them and not obtained their intended outcome. This will structure a strategy that you execute on with a buddy, and I can't use that terminology because that's not right. A professional, an executive career coach that is going to help you execute on that strategy sooner. So it may be that the skills that you bring to the Career Accelerator and your previous background enable you to probably lift your eyes a little, and it's not entry-level roles that you should be looking at. I think, coupled with any other experience that you have in different areas, as well as your academic experience, you should be lifting your eyes a little and identifying employers that there's two ways to look at it. You could look at, and the coach would guide you through these sorts of scenarios, but it might be a case of looking at a large corporate where it's narrow focus in your task and role, or the exact opposite of that, which is what Elodie did. She went to, I think from memory, a fintech startup where she was very quickly the jack of all trades, and the business journey went with her on her learning journey and became data and digital literate and competent thereafter. So I think you'll obtain every outcome that you seek, as opposed to some of the others that you may have been through. Do you have cases from full-time mother with career gap who've been successful to come back to work in the UK after complete the Career Accelerator? Laura, yeah, absolutely. We've had amazing outcomes from return to work mums, and we're actually quite passionate about that, knowing that it is such a challenge to not only re-enter the workforce, but also to reskill yourself during that big change in your life as well. Laura, if you can book a time with your enrolment advisor, we'd love to help you specifically and individually. So it's something that we're very, very passionate about. Could I count on similar course program for autumn? Yes, we do run numerous intakes per year, but one question we always ask people when considering that far in advance is the speed at which you retain your return on investment dictates the sooner you start, the sooner you get a career outcome, the sooner it pays itself off, the sooner you have achieved your intended outcomes, be that financially or personally or professionally as well. If you choose a 24-month payment plan and pay $335 per month for the first 6 months, is it possible to clear the remaining balance in a single payment? Sonia, yes, it is, without any penalty. Absolutely. Well, there's no scholarships, apologies. We do have that fee concession, as I mentioned, though. So please submit your application to ensure that you're one of the 20 that can obtain that fee concession, but there's no scholarships available. Still got questions coming through, so I'm going to cap it in another 8 minutes, but I'm going to get through as many as we can. Mia, welcome. I shouldn't say welcome, we're almost finished. As a biochemistry graduate doing masters in research in biochemical field, and already trained, have experience with Python, R, PyMol, and Excel. How hard is it in transitioning to a data science career, and what would you advise as next steps? Mia, given your background there, I do want to assist you personally or individually. So can you please reach out to either myself or one of the team of enrolment advisors, as I think there's something that we can offer in replace of that too. Thank you kindly. From being a technical accountant with over 20 years of experience, how would I remain competitive in the young? No, we've already answered that one. That was a really good question. Sangeeta, how the field of EdTech shaping with AI and what kind of roles are in demand currently? Can this course help in this direction? Are there any projects available in this field? Yes, Sangeeta, we demonstrated that all throughout today's session about what employers are seeking and moving that trend and moving that skill set to meet those in-demand skills. But data in particular, the application of AI within data in high demand. There was a statistic that we went through that there's a shortfall of 800,000 skilled data roles from McKinsey, I think it was, earlier. So there is much opportunity, but it's competitive too, don't get me wrong. And this program enables you to stand out from the crowd. Number one, with the backing of LSE. Two, the content is completely focused on career outcomes, yet with the rigor that you would expect. And then the career coach and the employer project as well. Answered that one already, so I haven't ticked these off. Is there a way to find financial support with LSE? Not necessarily for the program, but there is through your enrolment advisor with StepX, our finance partner in this as well. Cement, potentially the last question. I have experience in data analytics and currently a student at the University of West Scotland, where I'm also working with generative AI tools. I wanted to ask, if we apply for an internship in any company, what are usually the chances of getting selected? And what are the key requirements or skills do companies look for in fresh candidates? Cement, great question as well. Given the traditional model is to obtain an internship or placement or the like, I think it's also opportune to separate yourself from those competing with the similar intended outcomes as well. Let me explain. Employers are looking for the same thing. They're looking for people that can have an impact in their business. If you boil it down, if you can demonstrate that that's what you can do, you're going to shine over anyone that says, I've got all these technical skills in the world, but can't demonstrate how it's going to benefit the business. So number one, if you can do that, and I'm sure you can, or if you do this program, you certainly will, be able to separate yourself from numerous other candidates that are seeking to do the same thing through the adoption of learning, the demonstration of a portfolio, and the real skills of the employer project at the end. Furthermore, though, you're going to have elevated skills. This is aimed at postgraduate level of learning, and there is a postgraduate certificate for those that wish to do so later on. So let's maybe even your opportunity, Samant, is to look at not so much internships, but actual roles. The other thing I recommend is taking on a meaningful project pro bono. And what I mean by that, and this is great advice for anyone, is one of the first questions you'll be asked is, what experience do you have? And it's a catch-22. How do I get experience if you don't give me the job? How do I get the job if I don't have the experience? But there's ways to overcome that. That's why we've designed the program this way, so that you can demonstrate that you do have experience. But secondly, there's nothing stopping you during your studies from going to the local church, charity, sporting, kids sporting group, whatever, and saying, my name's Cement, my name's whoever else is still in attendance, and this is what I'm striving to achieve. Do you have a way in which I can apply my skills to your business and you get an outcome from it? And it might be a charity. It might be that they accept donations seasonally. Many donations are seasonal, Christmas time, whatever. And you might say to them, would you be able to give me the access to the data that enables me to build a model where we can extrapolate out a campaign to attract, and I'm just thinking of this off the top of my head, attract donations throughout the whole year instead of the 1 month of the year that you currently do. Imagine the power of that in terms of not only the charity receiving the work, but you demonstrating your impact to that charity in an interview sense. That's where the power lies as well. So technical skills coupled with practical application of learning in the real world, be it through a project such as we offer or through your own source projects, is going to set you apart, Cement. I hope that helps. Now, there's still 50 of us here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the panel and thank you to the events team that put this together. It's one of our most popular events of the year as well. But mostly, thank you to you, first and foremost, for committing to yourself to give up the time, not to give up the time, to commit the time, as I said earlier, to educate yourself more about the opportunities through this forum, through the panel discussion that we had, and hopefully through the program itself as well. It is valuable to listen to people that we did today, such as Chris and Leo, because they have been where you have been, but they've obviously advanced a great deal, but they now employ people coming through. So their insights are invaluable. Lastly, it's decision time. It is about making a decision to benefit your future. Are you looking to change, as so many of you were? Are you looking to commence, or are you looking to advance for a reason? Is that reason financial? Is it quality of enjoyment of your role? We all have to enjoy what we do. Or is it to provide for your family? All those sorts of questions you've no doubt are on the way and have questioned, hence you have arrived at this point. But now it's decision time. Let's start off 2026 on the right foot, committing to yourself, developing your skill set, and most of all, becoming a data analyst or advancing your career in data and future-proofing that. Engage with those around you on that decision. You're going to be busy for the 6 months of the program if you're combining work and study, but it's going to be well worth it in the end. So we look forward to welcoming, supporting, and most of all, celebrating your success, because that's what we do best for our learners, and that's our North Star metric, is to celebrate your success. We hope to do so in 2026. Please get your application in. It only takes 10 minutes, and we'll reach out to you and ensure that you can join us and obtain the benefits of doing so. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day and all the best.